Recording. I was supposed to be recording.
Yep, we're ready to go, honey. Happy New Year, everyone.
This is Golden Bronze.
This is Golden Bronze and Mickey G. And we are coming to you with our very first podcast. Welcome to Kicking It with Golden Swan Cadre. This is our debut, and we would like to welcome you to our platforms where we intend to have a lighthearted conversation often about random topics, not just about domestic violence or abuse, but also on how we see life, its challenges, love, and everyday relationship issues. We will at times go over the different types of domestic abuse and violence for awareness purposes, so we all can be more cognizant of our behavior and uphold our mission, vision, and purpose. And we realize that this involves men and women, but we will keep it light with laughter, love, and lots of fun. Before we get started, let me tell you what our mission, vision, and purpose is. And you'll understand who Golden Swan Cadre is. We are a domestic nonprofit 501c3 organization that advocates against domestic abuse concerning women and for women's health issues, inclusive of mental health and self-nurturing. Later on in the podcast, I will punt it to my co-host, Mickey G, who is on stage, and she will go into a little more detail about the self-nurturing aspect of our initiatives. Mickey G is our director of that portion of our initiative. Our vision is a society free of domestic abuse and violence, where all individuals are valued, respected, and treated equally. We strive to create a culture where healthy relationships are the norm and all forms of domestic violence are eliminated through education, prevention, intervention, and mentoring. Our goal is to empower survivors while working in partnership with domestic violence entities, communities also, to promote safety, justice, and healing for all. Our mission is to provide those support services and education regarding domestic abuse and violence, and also for women's health issues. We'll talk a lot about that, different aspects of it, including mental health, how that relates to domestic violence and abuse, as well as promote the awareness about it, prevention, advocacy within low income to moderate income communities. We strive as an entity to create a safe and empowering environment where individuals and families can heal and thrive, free from the cycle of violence, while improving one's physical and mental health. We have coalesced a myriad of circumstances and opportunities to define our purpose and carry that forward. Our purpose is empowering women to thrive once they have willfully removed themselves from domestic abuse or violence through mentorship, by encouraging self-nurturing, healthy nutrition, building their self-esteem, and by our setting an example for those ladies, and with providing these victims with resources, emotional support, or referrals to appropriate entities to support them beyond our expertise. Golden Swan Cadre also provides some assistance once they have left the centers with furnishing their apartments or homes, food, clothing, support during the holidays for them and their children for 1 year as they embark into surviving singularly. I'd like to stress that we do not advise or encourage anyone to leave their spouse. We are available only for the aforementioned once they have been released from domestic violence or abuse centers and begin their single family home journey. We are their support so that they do not have to return to the environment from which they fled. Many of us get caught up in that situation and we linger in an unsafe environment because we don't have help or resources to help us move forward in life. And that's where Golden Swan Cadre comes into play. We collaborate with domestic violence centers and similar entities to be impactful within the communities that we serve in Texas, Oklahoma, New Jersey, and New York. And we hope to keep the momentum going so that we can be effective and impactful in other states. And like I always said, we're not just local, we aim to be international. This is my disclaimer for our podcast. This is a safe space where we hang out, chop it up about various topics for an hour. You will engage in an open and respectful dialogue with Golden Swan Cadre. Today, to open us up, it is just myself, Golden Bronze, and Nikki G, who is my co-host. We hope that you enjoy our new podcast and return bi-weekly to share and engage with us on this platform. After today, our podcast will be on Saturdays, every other, and I'll put those dates out on social media, on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So now let's kick it up and chop it up for a little bit. I'm going to punt it to Mickey and let her elaborate a little bit.
Good morning and Happy New Year to
morning and
everyone. It's so good to have you with us. I am Nikki G. I'm the life speaker, Golden State. I'm also fashion coordinator. And with regard to fashion, we're not just painted ponies. Fashion helps you feel better. And it's part of wellness. It's part of uh, pulling yourself out of depression, pulling yourself out of a domestic abuse situation. If you look good, often you feel good. And sometimes when you come out, you don't feel like dressing up. Just put on some lipstick, just put on some earrings, something simple just to help you feel better. So that's part of the fashion aspect. It's not just the clothing. And so wellness is very important to us here at Golden Swan Cadre, and we want to uplift women. We want to encourage women, and we want to educate women. And so that's why we're here primarily. And so again, we're glad to be with you. We look forward to being with you every couple of weeks here on these platforms that Golden Bronze is going to explain further to you. So welcome.
Okay, you guys. It's happening.
Okay. So we're working out a few bugs on our audio. So please just bear with me. Like Ron said, this is our first podcast. And so everything's not necessarily going to run smoothly, but we're all humans. And sometimes to err is divine. So we're just working through some things here. So some of the things that we want to talk about are what things impacted us this year and what would be our word for the year. So my word for the year is evolution.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. You
Can
bet.
you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, then if you can, everybody can. Can you hear me, Suzette?
Yes.
All right, let me move forward. Since this is a new year day and a new year, I would like to go around the platform and hopefully, I know Mickey G can hear me. I asked the other two ladies to acknowledge that they can. I can't tell if they can or not. But I would like to go around the platform and ask each one of you to introduce yourselves and tell the people that are listening to us a little bit about ourselves. And I'd like to ask each one of you an icebreaker question as we do this so that people can learn a little bit about us. And that being said, I'll go first. So my name again on social media is Golden Bronze, and my legal name is Karen Denise. I kind of dropped the last name because that is my abuser's name. But most people in the work environment and in the community and friends know me as Karen Denise or Golden Bronze. I am a nurse by occupation and a realtor and an entrepreneur for many, many years. I am also a domestic violence survivor and now a thriver. And that's about all I'm going to say right now. For the sake of time, you'll get to know a little bit about me. But what I would name, the question that I'm going to ask everybody on the platform that's a Golden Swan Cadre member is, what would you name 2024? One word, if you could title what this year is for you. Mine might be a little lengthy because it's a backstory as to how we became Golden Swan Cadre. But I would name 2024 blessed. And I say that because in reflection and introspection, I look back at the toughest times of my life, which were actually when I was going through the worst times in my marriage and post-divorce. But in reflection, I wondered why I had to go through some of those things that I had experienced. It was not what I dreamed as a teenager. I thought I was doing everything right. So why was this the life God gave me? In times of introspection, I held myself accountable for what I might have contributed or not contributed, wondering why I attracted controlling, narcissistic men. I looked at the flaws within myself and I went through the work. I had the counseling, with the psychotherapist, with the pastors, with my mother and my friends. And I noticed that with men, I tended to be way more passive than I was with anybody else and too accommodating, actually. Discounting my own feelings and desires. I didn't have barriers. I realized that I can't change or fix the past or anyone else, but I had to make that change within myself, which meant that I realized that it takes a partnership to make a relationship work. One person cannot put in 100% effort into maintaining a marriage or a relationship when the other person is just putting in 20%, which I felt was my situation. I seemed to be putting more effort, more time, more of my resources, more of my energy to make it work. And I was abused along the way doing that because I didn't set those barriers. Now I realize that some will ride with you if you settle for less. If you settle for just that, that's what you'll get. But the person settling, whether it's a man or a woman, is going to end up being unhappy, abused, misused, controlled, and miserable in that marriage, relationship, situationship. So hindsight for me is 2020. And now I attribute that to being young and not knowing. Actually, the advice that I was given when I was raised is that women had to take more than the men, which is totally somebody's old school methodology. And but I was raised that, and I always was raised that I had to give more than I ever should expect to receive. And that's totally wrong as well. But that's the way that I live. I gave more and didn't expect it in return. And I got exactly what that says. So post divorce, I realized by having that instilled in me and taking that advice was one of the reasons I spent so many years unhappy. Relationships, situationships, marriages should be mutual. Each person should give 100%, not 50-50, 100% all the way in equally and mutually. So, retrospectively, I now feel blessed now to have gone through that experience and come out where I am today with maintaining my health mentally, physically. My faith is stronger than ever, family intact, friendship stronger, because I also use those same methodologies in my all of my relationships. And financial status is better, as I see the experience that I went through was my life's journey, which was necessary for me spiritually to transform, to get me in alignment with founding Golden Swan Cadre. So yes, I am blessed. And that is what I call 2024 and beyond. And now I'm going to give my co host, Nikki G, a chance to say a little bit about herself and what she would call 2024. Nikki?
Thank you, Golden Bronze. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about this. So, my word for 2024
My word
is forward,
2024 is forward.
because my evolution brought me
Because
to
my
this place.
evolution brought me to this
So,
place.
there's nothing
There's
behind me
nothing
that is going to help
behind
me.
me that can help
So,
me.
I will say that I am
So I will
also a
say that I
domestic
am
abuse
also a
survivor and absolutely a thriver. And so the things that happened behind me back then brought me to this place. In some ways, I don't regret it because it built me, but I would not have asked for the pain. I would not have taken those things that did not belong to me. Abuse comes from the abuser, and it was not my fault. Something in um, those people put certain things on our lives, but it builds us if you let it build you. And that's what's happened with me. And so instead of dwelling in the past, I use those experiences to launch me forward in advocacy against domestic abuse against women. And so forward is where I'm looking, because forward is where I grow. Forward is where I'm going. Forward is where my eyes face. Forward is where my feet go. And so that's the only direction that I'm going to go this year going forward, is absolutely forward. Pump back to Golden Bronze. Oh, Suzette, would you unmute your mic, please? I'm sorry. Could you tell us your word for 2024 and why?
Good morning and Happy New Year to both of you and everyone there listening to us this morning. My name is Suzette Mitchell. My name is Suzette Mitchell, but I'm called Lady Mitchell. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, a nanny, an auntie, a caregiver. I'm a leader, I'm a retiree, a teacher, and I'm a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ and a servant of God and to others. And my word for 2024 is turn, meaning turn means to veer or to steer, but not in a rotation manner, nor in a spin. But turn for me means to move towards something or away from something. It could be a person, place, or thing, but to me, it's a change of course or position. And so the scripture I would use for this year would be Colossians 3:2, to set my mind on things that are above, not on the things that are on earth, to think on the things of heaven and not the things of earth. I won't shuffle around with my eyes to the ground, observing the things that are just right in front of me, but I will look about and see what's around me and what's going on around, where I can join God in the work that He's doing with others. So to me, to turn is to move toward. And with that said, I'll punt it back to Golden Bronze.
Well, thank you so much, Lady Suzette, for those words of wisdom and inspiration. And so we have other swans on here. Angeline, ready? Could you unmute your mic? Can we see you? Can we see your lovely face?
Oh, that's a
And give
bad
us,
allergies this morning, but
well, give us
hold
your word for,
on.
give us your word for
Good-
2024 and why.
sure. Good morning, ladies. Again, my name is Angeline Betty.
And if you would please come off
Is it coming?
please show us who you are if you're going to be on the stage.
To set up this, hold on one second.
Okay, is sunshine on? Are you ready? Okay. Okay. If not, we can talk a little more while Angeline gets ready to get on. Angeline, we'll give you a couple of moments. Also, Golden Swan Cadre, we've adopted some families and we mentor them and we educate them and we inspire them. And so we're so looking forward to what's happening this year. We have a couple of families that we are already helping. And so we look forward to being able to help more people as we go along. And so let's see if our panelist is ready. Angeline, could you speak to us, please? And can we see you? Okay. Okay, looks like she's gone. Okay, we're now without technical difficulties. Like we said, this is the first time out. And we just thank you for having patience as we go through, because grace, we have to give ourselves grace, even as we go through domestic violence advocacy, as we come out of domestic violence situations, we have to give ourselves grace. So we'll give it to each other too. Golden Bronze, do you have anything that you'd like to add right now?
Yes.
I would like to say to the audience, I'm apologizing a little bit because we're not all together. It is our first time, and we did expect all of us to be here, which we're not all here. So this podcast was supposed to take a little longer, and it did not. But I'm going to pause just for a minute because I do see that another swan has joined us. But before I give it to Angeline, I want to say that this first podcast was an introduction to society as far as who Golden Swan Cadre is and what we're about. In the first 10 minutes, I did tell you about our vision, mission, and purpose. And the rest of the time was supposed to be all of us telling you a little bit about us, which was going to take about 45 minutes. And it won't be that long because we're missing the majority of us. So I apologize in advance. Hopefully, we'll do better. If not, we'll roll with who we have. This is half of us here. And so we will do better going forward with our podcast. We do have a whole platform of topics to talk about. And this one, again, like I said, was just introductory to let you know we're here. This is our way of getting awareness out to everybody, to talk about lighthearted topics, to let everybody know that we are here to serve the communities in Dallas, Oklahoma, well, Texas, period, Oklahoma, New Jersey, and New York. And so we have a lot of things prepared for the rest of the year, a lot of exciting things planned, and I'll elaborate on that in a minute. I just did want to say briefly that after Angeline speaks, I'll speak, and then we'll end the podcast. But here's Angeline. Let me
All
mute.
right. Good morning again, ladies. Happy New Year to everyone that's watching. My name again is Angeline Reddy, mother of 2 daughters. I've worked with Karen for several years with Travelers, and I've known her well. And I thank God for her vision and for joining us ladies together to go forward with her vision. My word for 2024 would be explore. And it can be whether it's for travel, whether it's for technology or unspecified or knowledge areas that I'm not familiar with. So instead of being timid and sit back, I am determined this year to explore. Just like you, Karen, you're very daring and trying out new stuff. So that is going to be my word for this year. So basically exploring all areas. And again, I truly believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, and I'll turn it back to you.
And that is so true, Angeline. Thank you. That is so true, Angeline. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
so
Yes.
It's just
okay. That is true, Angeline. And exploration is in all of our outlook. We have a lot of things, exciting things in the making that we can't speak about right now. But anybody and everybody that's a part of Golden Swan Cadre that's interested in exploring those avenues, we're accepting of you to come, because we're going to be helping people, ladies from all over, do some magnificent things. I want to say also that there will be a podcast on January the 4th with Let's Get Activated podcast. Samantha Levy is the podcast co-host. She has a following of 100,000 plus followers. So hopefully we'll get our purpose, mission, and vision spread out a little further. We have a lot of things on our calendar to actually educate people about domestic violence. Not only that, to build up our finances to actually help women when they get their first apartments or homes. Part of our initiative is to help them furnish and decor their homes, so that makes life a little less stressful for them. They don't have to worry about, doing the furnishings and decor of their apartments. And we've already helped one lady in Arlington, and we gave her some living room furniture, and we're going to decor that for her. Mickey G is her mentor, and we've helped one lady in Irving, and I am her mentor. We take 4 families a year, so we have 2 more. So if anybody out there knows of any single lady who has gotten herself out of a very difficult situation, who needs mentoring, who is willing to volunteer with us as well, who needs some assistance financially, getting her home or apartment put together, feel free to drop that in our instant message or Facebook Messenger on Golden Swan Cadre on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, and there's a banner at the bottom of this screen. It's called the official _ Golden Swan Cadre. You can email us at the Golden Swan Cadre at gmail.com. And we have a website that is goldenswancadre.com. You can go on there and send us a message as well. I'd like to also say we now have on our Facebook page a PayPal charity donation QR code and link that PayPal sent to me after, making sure we were a legitimate charity. So you can donate via PayPal by going to our Facebook page, Golden Swan Cadre. You can donate there as well. You can donate on our website, or you can contact either one of us directly in our messenger and ask how you can donate. If you would like to volunteer, we do need volunteers. We're seeking male volunteers, not to be a Golden Swan Cadre, but to volunteer. We need help with our setup, our takedown, delivery, just different things that it's not enough of us to do. So we are opening up to volunteers, and Angeline Reddy is Director of Volunteers. You can reach her on any of those platforms I just told you about, or you can go in her Facebook page, Angeline Reddy, direct message her and let her know if you are wanting or willing to volunteer with Golden Swan Cadre. It is on an as-needed basis. We have 4 events a year where we do need volunteers. And we also are partners, community partners with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Oftentimes we're asked to show up at their events with our volunteers, and we would ask you to volunteer with us there as well. And we have JJ Trucking as a sponsor. The Lorenzo Hotel is a sponsor. Lone Star Elite Roofing is a sponsor, and Gary Gray of eXp Realtor is a sponsor. Family Law Firm is a sponsor. So we're catching on. People are grabbing hold of us and sponsoring us, and we hope to be able to do way more than we're doing now for our victim survivors to make them thrivers. And so periodically we will be posting our events and what we have going on. Not only do we want you to volunteer, we want you to support us. Support us by coming to our events, buying our tickets to our teas, and we're going to have a cruise, a public cruise open to the public, which is a fundraiser. We're going to have a fashion show open to the public. That will be in Oklahoma, but anybody in Texas is encouraged to come. That's going to be a big, big event with a major, is she a Essence model or Ebony?
I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, let me just pause and let
Yeah,
Mickey
Ebony.
G's talk about that for a minute, but we got a lot planned. So I'm going to punt it back to my co-host. Mickey, you got it.
Well, actually, January 2025, we're putting together an event. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the person that I'm working with once we talk a little bit more together. But it's going to be big. So we'll be dropping breadcrumbs throughout the year, little information and tidbits about the different fundraisers that we're having, including that fashion show that's going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the heart of Black Wall Street and Greenwood. So we look forward to you joining us throughout the year. Different fundraisers. Don't turn a blind eye. This is a cause that your help is needed. There are women who are waiting for help. So if you believe in this cause, please come and support us. And whatever things we put up, we just ask that you show up. And if you cannot show up, let your dollars show up. Let them speak for you. So we look forward to this year. We look forward to a dynamic, exciting year, even on the podcast, as we talk about health and wellness, relationships, and all kinds of wonderful things. And let me just say this. We are not a male bashing organization. We love men. And so we're thankful for the men who are supporting us in this mission. There are many who come and they contribute and they help and they volunteer. So we thank you. We thank you for your support now and going forward through this year and beyond as Golden Swan Cadre continues to grow in this community and in this world. Golden bronze?
You know, I am so glad that Mickey said we're not a male bashing organization, because in reality, we have more men that are supportive of us than women, which is surprising to me. But you would be surprised how many men tell us that they are proud of us for having the nerve to do what we're doing, because we have to have some thick skin. People think that we're male bashers, but as she said, we love men. Some of us are married, some of us are engaged, some of us are seeking. And but we like men. That's all I'm trying to say. And we have men that do support us. They come out to our events. They tell us all the time how proud they are of what we're attempting to do. We just want you to get on board, because we also plan to do some fun things. It's not always serious, like the cruise. The cruise is open to the public, and we're not going to talk about domestic violence. We're going to have fun. It's a fundraiser where we want men and women and children, if necessary, to come together and have a good time. On this podcast, we're not going to always be serious. We're going to have some joking times, some fun times, and some serious conversations. We're going to do both. And we want the men to come on and join us on these podcasts. We can see the comments. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us, and we will get back with you if we don't have the answer right then. So I wanted to say that it's not all serious. We are all funny, loving, caring, compassionate, giving. We have to be giving to be in this position, but we're that way naturally. Every one of us. We're a sisterhood of ladies that love each other, that we may not disagree. I mean, we may not agree, but we agree to disagree because we love each other. And sometimes those things don't even come up anymore. We just move beyond it. And that's the way that we move. So, we just want you to come and join us. Like Mickey said, jump on the bandwagon, because we intend to go far, and we want you to go with us. So I'm going to ask our treasurer if she would like to have some closing comments, and then I'll ask our director of volunteers, and then we'll end the podcast. And before I do, I want to say this too, that if you have that calendar in front of you, I left mine in Texas, and I need to give them, before we close, the date of the next podcast, which is on a Saturday. It's not the 4th, but I think it is 2 or 3 weeks from that. So I guess what I'll do while you're looking for the calendar, I'll ask Angeline for some closing comments, and then I'll come back to you next. So Angeline.
Well, basically, again, we could always use volunteers. There's so many events and just need muscles, things that we cannot do. But if you are interested and available, again, just reach out to us on the website and we'll be in touch with you, give you some more specifics and details and where the help is needed. So it doesn't have to be an all day. It can be an hour, 30 minutes. Every bit helps the organization. So thank you in advance for those people that are considering to volunteer.
Suzette.
I have the calendar, Golden. What was the question again regarding the calendar?
When is our next podcast? The first one was today, but we're going to do them on Saturdays going forward. Is it the 27th or the 13th? Is it the 27th or the 13th?
I hope I have the right calendar, because the 13th I'm looking at volunteer with the Black Veterans Association.
Right. Okay, so what we'll do, everybody, is post it on all of our pages. I think that Suzette is correct. It is the 27th of January after today, and then it's bi-weekly from that date on Saturdays. Occasionally, we may have to flex it because of our volunteerism in the community. Because as she mentioned, we're volunteering with the Black Veterans Association on the 13th. So we will post bi-weekly when our next podcast is, but please come back on the 27th. I do believe that is the date that we had. And I'm going to give her a minute if she has any closing remarks, and then we're going to close for the day and meet you back here on the 27th.
In closing, I would just like to say I'm honored to be a part of the Golden Swan Cadre and to be a part of the vision of our visionary Golden Bronze. And if you would join us in the work that God is doing through Golden Swan Cadre, you would be a blessing, and we would be able to be a more blessing to those who we reach out and touch. So we look forward to you turning toward us. That is my word. So we look forward to you turning toward us, to the things that we're doing, joining us, seeing how you can volunteer, how you can give, and seeing how you can see lives change through the work that we are doing. So be blessed. Back to you, Golden.
All right, thank you. So, Mickey, if you have that song that you were playing before, if you could close us out and I'll talk while you get that song. I would like to say to everybody that this is a mission that is close to all of our hearts. It's a passion, but it's not a religious entity. We are a domestic entity, but you hear us often mention prayer and God because that's who leads our lives. But we are a domestic nonprofit 501c3. And if you need anyone to come to your events and speak to you about domestic violence or mentor anyone or even know someone that needs help, please reach out to us. But we are also available to come to your events and speak regarding different types of things: domestic violence, women's health, um, self-nurturing. And we do have one coming up on February the 10th at United Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, which is regarding women's health, actually nutrition, financial literacy, and spiritual health. So there's 3 different speakers, but we'll be guest speakers. We're not giving that event, but we'll be guest speakers, but we welcome anybody and everyone that wants to join us to hear about spiritual health, women's health, regarding nutrition, regarding women's health, and financial literacy. We all need to learn about that. So we're going to close out now with a song. We're going to play the song for a little bit, and then we're going to see you back here on January the 27th. We thank you for tuning in. I promise you that we'll be more upbeat. It'll be a lot of fun. This was introductory, just to let you know who we are, what we're about, and our mission. And we are going to close out with the song. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We will never leave you. Trust us. We will always be with you. And so do come back and join us again. Thank you from myself personally and everyone with Golden Swan Cadre. We'll see you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.